Hello, good morning. Good Sunday morning to you. This is Chef Dondari, Chef Donnell Jones-Craven, doing a little nice Sunday morning banana bread muffins. I make this for my family quite a bit, especially when you have ripe bananas that's no one's eating. I made smoothies. So we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna walk you through this process of some good banana bread muffins. Right here you see I have my ripe bananas. I have oil. I have 2 eggs. My oil, about a half a cup of oil. I have a cup of sugar. I have 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder. I have some vanilla extract. I have some milk. I like to use lactose-free milk for myself. Use whatever you like. I also have some nutmeg too. I got a little cinnamon sugar and nutmeg I want to put over the top, kind of add a little dimension to it. First step is just mashing your bananas. And there's different ways you can make banana bread, the quick bread method, which is basically bananas, a couple eggs, flour, sugar. There's another method which we're going to use today, which we're going to blend all the wet ingredients together, and then we're going to fold the dry ingredients, being the flour, the sugar, the baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt. We're going to fold that into the wet mixture in 3 different increments instead of all at one time. And if you have a favorite recipe you like to share or what you make on Sunday mornings, please feel free to comment or tune in. So we got our bananas mashed up a bit. We're going to add our oil, half a cup of vegetable oil. Then we'll add our eggs, 2 eggs. It helps to have some nice music on. Right now I'm listening to Gregory Porter, one of my favorite entertainers. I've got a little bit of egg in. So one thing I like to do is I add my vanilla extract and my milk into my wet mixture of the eggs, the oil, and the ripe bananas. This is 1 teaspoon. I like to have a little flavor, especially since it's imitation. A little 2 teaspoons won't hurt. 3 tablespoons of milk, lactose-free milk. You can use whatever you like, as I mentioned earlier. You may say, why add milk to it? Milk and baking is kind of synonymous, one-on-one. It kind of binds everything together with the egg and the banana. So we're gonna mix this up. Now you could use a mixer or you could use a whip. Me right now, I'm just using a spoon because this is real kind of earthy. I don't profess to be a pastry person or a pâtissier, but when it comes to quick bread, zucchini bread, or known as monkey bread, banana bread, blueberry, pound cakes, those type of things I enjoy doing. Just a spoon alone does the job. All you're trying to do is just blend everything together. It doesn't have to be fine-tuned where you're using a whisk and whisking everything in, okay? So I have my flour, I have my sugar. And I'm going to add a portion of sugar into this banana mixture. The reason being, you have your eggs, you have your bananas. Bananas have the natural sugar in it, so to add the sugar in now, I think it will help it to just really bring the flavor up. Just because it's banana bread, you don't have to have it overly sweet. Okay? So I add the other part of sugar into the flour mixture. And I want to blend that together. One thing you always want to do when you're dealing with dry ingredients is to make sure everything is mixed thoroughly, or you can sift it. Sift it takes your baked item to another level of airiness. And when I say airiness, if you are baking any type of bread-based baked product, you see air bubbles, and that's a sign of sifting. So we got all of our ingredients in that we had. So what I'm going to do now, as I mentioned, I have my flour mixed with the baking soda, baking powder, and half a cup of the sugar. I'm just going to pour a third in right now and blend that in. Because number one, you don't want to have any lumps. So it's best just to blend so much in at a time, because if not, you'll have a bit of dough flour at the bottom of your bowl, and it's not a good thing. So this is real simple. It's fun to make. You can make it with your family. Throw the next portion in. Like I said, I'm just using a regular wooden spoon, and that gets it done. And there's a second portion of flour mix comes in. You see it's starting to tighten a bit. So one thing about baking, you feel your way when you're making something. If you're concerned if it's too wet or too dry, you know, you may have to adjust according. But remember, with baking, you can't do too much adjusting, because if you adjust too much of a flour product, baking soda, baking powder, you're going to come out with a bad product. So here's the last third portion, and see how it's tightening up? This is what it should be right now as I'm mixing this up. A little loose, but a little give too. Now, as I mentioned before, we used just a small amount of milk. That was 3 tablespoons. But you see, this is what you want. This is ready to go. Almost like loose oatmeal a little bit. And we're good to go. Now we got our muffin pans here. We sprayed them. And this is the batter you want. Just like that. So we're just gonna pour. If you ever had to make cupcakes or muffins, you try to eyeball it and put what you think in, and then that last one you don't have enough. So you just want to put a little bit in at about less than half to start. I'm pretty sure I got more than enough batter. You could put walnuts in this. Traditionally, you put walnuts. You could put pecans. You could put chocolate chips in it. Whatever you do put in it, make sure it's a small amount, nothing heavy. And see, I have enough products. I'm going to go back to it. Now, mind you, that was a cup of bananas, which equates to about 4 to 5 bananas ripe. All right, look at this. Now, you know they're going to rise up. And let me see if I can just scoop this last section in. Now, these are going to be nice and big, so they may not look nice and pleasant, but they're going to taste good. Let me take that back. They are going to look nice and pleasant. Just as people talk to their plants or flowers, you have to talk to your food. So you got to watch your words. Cinnamon sugar with a little nutmeg. And I'm just going to put that over the top just to give it a little pizzazz, if you will. So when they do come out the oven and my family gets ready to eat them, they're like, oh man, look at that. It smells good, but what is that little sugar stuff on top? I always remember with cooking, you always want to put your little signature on it. I always have paper towels handy. And before you put your item in the oven, you just want to look at it and make sure nothing's running over, because you want your stuff to come out nice. Just pop it right in. Say about 45, 50 minutes. Let it do its thing. Let it bake up, and you'll know when they're about ready, because your kitchen and your home will start to have this nice aroma of bananas and bread, and then you know it's almost ready. Now here they are, some nice banana muffins. They're nicely brown, just a little bit too brown. You want them kind of golden, but we know they're cooked. They're coming off the edge, and look at that, they just pop right out. You didn't even have to turn it over. Look at that. See the texture of the banana? Oh, Wow, look at that. Got some good coffee. So tell me, what is your favorite thing to cook on Sunday mornings? Send it to me. Direct message me or DM me. Maybe I'll make it next Sunday as we continue with Chef Dondari Culinary Conversations. I have some things in plan coming up on YouTube, so please stay tuned. I'm gonna have a bite of this. And some coffee.